Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, this is Lithium017 from my channel, Nintendo Collecting 101, bringing you my collecting tip number 48. This one's called Predicting Future Rare Games. Obviously there's going to be many games that are going to maintain their value. As you see here, these are a lot of the Mario games for the N64 and the Wii. A lot of these will maintain their value, as will the Zeldas and all the other first-party great titles. But what about other games? What about games that we don't really know what will be rare in the future? So I have 8 different cases just to discuss of when games can get rare, and I have at the end of the video 20 Wii games that I think will become rare. I could be wrong, but we'll see. So the first case when predicting a rare game you should take into account is a game that is released really late in its life cycle, such as Conker's Bad Fur Day. If it's released late, usually not many people buy it because they move on to the next gen, and usually those are pretty rare games. So you can think about Kirby's Dream Land 3 was one of these games. Obviously this is Kirby's Return to Dreamland, but Kirby's Dream Land 3 on the Super Nintendo, Super Mario RPG, even Xenoblade Chronicles was released pretty late in the Wii's life cycle, and I don't think it will sell that well, therefore it will become more rare. The second case is games that are released only in one region, so again thinking about Operation Rainfall, so Pandora's Tower and The Last Story and Xenoblade Chronicles were some games that were coming over from Europe. So if they're only available in one region, usually they're more rare, and they're harder to get in other regions. The third case is games that just don't sell well. So games that don't sell well, or the publisher has a really short print run. So there's one game out on the Wii called One Piece Unlimited Adventure, and it's an anime game, and it's just not selling very well. Another game, or a lot of games, or anything made by Atlas. Atlas doesn't make or print very many games, so if you think about Cubivore on the GameCube, if you want to search up Atlas and look at all their releases, a lot of them are very rare now. And then there's other games that have a very limited print run, such as the Mario All-Stars for Wii, or this Kirby's Dream Collection. So something like that only has a limited run. It's obviously going to be rare in the future. And if they're discontinued, obviously, that will make it more rare. Same thing as the Metroid Prime Trilogy. Just another side note, obviously, if they have some sort of a special release with them, they're probably going to be rare. So the Zelda Skyward Sword with that limited edition controller, that's going to be rare in the future, but it's just that special release. So I'm talking about games on their own that stand alone, not special releases of games or anything like that. And then there's a few other cases, obviously. Games that are only available online. So on the Club Nintendo website, there's 2 games that are both for the DS, that they're called the Game & Watch Collection 1 and 2. And they're very rare. I think they're going to increase in value as long as the Club Nintendo eventually obviously gets rid of them, and they will. And then there's also Pokemon Box for the GameCube that was really only available online. There's a few DS games that I think are only available online from the manufacturer themselves. Then there's games available from a specific chain. Unfortunately, I didn't bring any of those up from the N64 right now. I'm at school. But the Blockbuster exclusive for the N64 are a great example. So eventually, if there's Wii games or 3DS games or Wii U games or any console that you collect for and they're only released at a certain chain, then they're probably going to be worth a lot more. And then when a company is sold, so Atari games were just bought out by Bandai. And there was this game by that's Dragon Ball Z and like Godzilla Unleashed, things like that for the Wii. They're discontinued because Bandai doesn't want to release them anymore because they were Atari games and they bought Atari. So those games are definitely going to be rare. And then one other case, the last case I'm going to talk about, is when there's only one game in a genre on a console. So I know on the Wii there's very few Formula 1 racing games. There's one game called Formula 1 Racing 2009, and that's the only one really on the console, so a lot of people want it. The other one is like the Ikaruga for GameCube. It's one of the only it's not first-person shooter. It's one of the only top-down shooter games for the GameCube, so a lot of people want it, and it's a great game. So rare games don't always have to be good games, but here's a list of 20, a lot of them, 20 games that I think on the Wii that will eventually get really rare. And most of them aren't here that you see. A lot of them I don't have. Some of them I do have at home. But here's a list of 20. You can tell me if you think I'm right or wrong, and include your own to the list underneath mine, maybe underneath the video, just add your own comments. So here's 20 that I think will be rare. Pikmin New Play Control 1 and 2, Xenoblade Chronicles, The Last Story, Pandora's Tower, Metroid Prime Trilogy, Mario All-Stars, Klonoa, Tales of Symphonia, Dawn of the New World, Trauma Center, No More Heroes, Madworld, Rune Factory Frontier, Endless Ocean 1 and 2, Zack and Wiki, Tatsunoko versus Capcom, that Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, F1 2009, and Monster Hunter 3. So if you think I'm right, please comment below. Thank you for watching, and if you like my videos, feel free to subscribe.